Hello, everyone. How are you all doing this evening? Boy, it has been quite a fun afternoon as a Tar Heel fan in the final game that we will see Armando Bacot play inside of the Dean Dome. Oh, my God, absolutely amazing. It was a fun night all the way around. Big time win for the North Carolina Tar Heels, 84-51 over the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. And the team seems tuned up going into Saturday, but hey, we're here to talk about this game. So let's break it down a little bit. Let's break it down just a smidge. First off, I want to say if you guys came out, and I know it was kind of quick and shortly and briefly announced that we were going to be doing a watch party, that I was going to be doing a watch party tonight. But hey, ended up having a watch party. And those that came out and had a good time, hey, I appreciate you coming out. It was fun. I enjoyed doing that with you guys, and maybe we can potentially do it this Saturday with Duke in the Duke Carolina game. That would absolutely be fun. If you guys would love that, let me know down in the comments, and maybe we can make that happen this Saturday. But North Carolina had the Notre Dame Fighting Irish coming into the Dean Dome tonight on senior night, in which 7 seniors were honored this evening. First off, Armando Bacot, RJ Davis, Cormac Ryan, Jaylen Withers, Duwe Ferris, Creighton Lebo, and Rob Landry. Those are your 7 that were honored tonight, and all of them got to play. As a matter of fact, you kind of figured it was probably coming, but Hubert Davis did go with the all-senior lineup to start the game. Absolutely love that. And everybody got to play some, and everybody got to play some anyway, just because North Carolina ended up going out there and just whooping the dog snot after out of daggum Notre Dame with a 33-point win over the Irish. But let's break it down. North Carolina. Let's start down the box score really quick. You know what? Let's save North Carolina to last, because we always save the best for last around here. So let's start with the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Now, I don't know everybody's first name, so I'm just going to put that out there first off. By the way, Alan could be joining us sometime, so I'm going to keep an eye on that. I did send him an invite out. He was busy this evening. We'll see if he can come out here. But the leading scorer for Notre Dame was Tay Davis. Man, I thought he did a really good job. He came out with 11 points on 1 block, 6 rebounds. He was 4-11 from the field, 1-1 from the three-point line, and 2-4 from the free throw line. I thought he played really well, really quick, and was getting the better of Harrison Ingram early, and also a little bit of Armando Bacot some early as well. He was definitely a threat anytime he touched the basketball, and they really did keen in on him, later in that game, especially towards the back half of the first half when Carolina started to build that lead there towards the end of the first half. Also, their big-time guard, Marcus Burton, ended up with 9 points with 4 turnovers, 2 steals, 2 assists, and 3 rebounds. He only shot 3 of 11 from the field and 0 of 3 from the three-point line. But that kid's quick, man. He's a freshman. He's a true freshman that's in there. He's playing really well. I know tonight the box score didn't look good at all, and the whole team really didn't have a good game, but I felt like a lot was put on him until Tay Davis really stepped up and started to perform better for the team. But I felt like everything kind of ran through him, and maybe this is where this Notre Dame team is going down the line. Is they're going to be looking to him a whole lot more. That Burton kid to come out there and play a little bit more, and maybe run that offense to him a little bit. And if you were watching the live stream, the watch party, everybody knew my favorite player from Notre Dame was Shrewsbury, purely for that last name. That last name's freaking awesome, man. Shrewsbury, that's great. I absolutely love that. But he shot 4-9 from the field, 1 of 5 from the three-point line, ended up with 9 points with 2 assists and 2 rebounds, or excuse me, 4 rebounds. I thought he was cool, man. I was enamored with that last name, man. I absolutely freaking loved it. It was great, dude. But as a team, Notre Dame shot 18 of 59 from the field. That is a whopping 30.5% too, from the field. That is not good, man. And we'll talk about why that is a little bit later on. But also from the three-point line, they shot 5 of 19. That was 26.3%. And from the free throw line, actually did better than Carolina at 62.5%, which that's sad to say. And we'll get to that in just a second. But Notre Dame, they're a team that's trying to find themselves. They're trying to find the identity of what this team's going to be in the future, and they're trying to put pieces together. They got some nice young pieces, like we talked about with Tay Davis and Burton there, and Kiba and Jai, who only ended up with 3 points. I thought he was going to be a little bit, more of a threat there. He did have 3 rebounds. He is their leading rebounder, but I just felt like he was going to be a little bit more of a threat. Ended up not being for Carolina. I thought Carolina played great defensively, especially towards basically from the second half of the first half, if that gives you any reference. Basically, the 10 minutes and less in the first half, I thought they played really well defensively. But yeah, they're a team that's trying to find themselves. We understood that when they were coming in. They weren't the best in the world. They have a 12-18 record now, 7-12 in the conference, and they're just a team trying to find themselves. And I feel like Notre Dame will be all right. I do think that once they get a little bit older and start to figure out their rhythm, that they'll be okay. They'll end up being a pretty solid team in the ACC. Last year even though they weren't the best in the ACC, they were a pretty decent team when they had Cormac over there as well. So a lot of credit to them. They came out there, they played hard, they were fighting back and forth to Carolina early, and then North Carolina just finally caught their groove as North Carolina's R.J. Davis ends the night with 22 points, and everything was flowing through that man once again. He was wearing the pink shoes, which we kind of talked about in the live stream. The last 2 times he wore those pink shoes, he scored 42, and then he scored 32, I believe it was, the time before that. So we were kind of saying that this trend was going to continue. Unfortunately, he didn't get into the 30s. I think he could have, quite personally, but he did end up with 22 points tonight. He had a block, he had a steal, he had 6 assists, and he also had 4 rebounds. Shot 9 of 15 from the field, 4 of 6 from the three-point line. Missed his only free throw, which is unfortunate, very, very unfortunate. That was the one that was was going to give him 20 at the time, I believe it was. So he had a chance to be, in with 23, but that's out here and there. Armando Bacot ended up having a pretty quiet night for majority of the game up until, and I'm going to go back and clip this, but when he knocked down that first 3, I went freaking nuts, bro. I went absolutely insane. I was loving every single second of that. Oh, how awesome it was to see that go down. And then he does it again. But I was busy freaking getting the thumbnail ready for this, and I missed the second 3. And then I look up and everybody's celebrating. I'm like, what the flip is going on? And oh, man. But when he hit that first 3, I absolutely freaking lost it. I said, watch him hit this. When he put it up, I said, bang. And sure enough, oh, man, I just freaking lost it. I absolutely love that, man. It's good for him to have that. But he did end up the night with 14 points, had 3 turnovers, which, it was a little worrying there. 3 personal fouls, but he did have 1 block, 1 assist, and 5 rebounds. He was 50% from the field with 4 of 8, 2 of 2 from the 3-point line. I can't believe I'm saying that. I can't believe I'm saying that stat. I really can't. 4-6 from the free throw line, and just had an amazing night there. Jaylen Washington. Oh my gosh. Everybody knows, if you've been consistently watching the post games and the pre games, everybody knows that I am a big time Jaylen Washington fan. I just am. I love this kid. I see the potential in this guy, and I really think he's getting somewhere. He comes out tonight off the bench. And me and Alan even had arguments about his playing time and how it should be more or how it should be less, or, it's only this much for this reason. Well, he got 12 minutes tonight and put up 10 points with 2, my stat sheet went wrong. Okay, there we go. With 2 blocks and 5 rebounds, 2 of 2 from the 3-point line, knocking down some big threes. That's going to help stretch that floor a little bit too, especially, whenever he does come in, it's going to help stretch the floor just a little bit. 4 or 5 from the field. No free throws for him tonight, but man, it's good to see him getting after it. Just want to see him continue to get a little bit better defensively, a little bit quicker on his lateral movements, and I think he's going to be right as rain. I think he needs to just get a little bit stronger as well. I think he'll be pretty good. Harrison Ingram had a great first half, not so good in the second half. He ended up with 11 points. He went into halftime with 9, and then after that was completely quiet. Only had one more basket afterwards. And that way he ends up with 11 points. And Cormac Ryan, I'm telling you guys, I really believe he is going to be a cornerstone here, especially when we get in the tournament time, because you never know when you might need that big three, or you might need that shot, that guy to get hot that night. And Cormac Ryan is that guy. Ended up the night with 14 points against his former team, had an assist, had 5 rebounds, shot 4 of 9 from the field. Now, obviously, that doesn't sound great to begin with, but a lot of those shots came kind of late in the game, and the game was already out of hand. I think he was just kind of trying to push it a little bit, just taking some shots that maybe you shouldn't take. But hey, that's all right. That was his last game in the Dean Dome himself, playing against his former team, Notre Dame. So I can't really hate on to him too much about it. 2 of 5 from the 3-point line, hit 4 of 6 on his free throws as well. As a team, North Carolina shot 45.1% from the field. They were over 50% and after that debacle, I love it. I mean, I'm glad that we got to have the bench guys come in and play, but that was really like fun. I don't think I could hear in the back of my head was just, it was fun. It was absolutely amazing. I love that so much. It was fun watching those guys run around and do their thing, but it was pretty. I mean, the only person that looked good and all that was Okonkwo when he had those 2 blocks. But from the 3-point line, they did shoot 37.9%, so right around their average. And also they were 60% from the free throw line. And it's a little bit worrying to say that they went 9 of 15, and a couple of them were in and out. And that's unfortunate, but they definitely need to get better on the free throw line. They were pretty good to start the season. And towards the back half of the season, you've noticed that it slouched off a little bit. So I'm a little bit worried with that. And they definitely got to get better at the free throws. If you're going to go to the line, and this is a team that does get to go to the line a lot. They create a lot of chances for themselves at the line, and you got to take advantage of them because stuff like that can win and lose you games at the same time. So Carolina's got to get a little bit better at that. But to start the game, I thought the team was playing. They weren't talking very well on the perimeter. On perimeter defense, and that's something you definitely are going to need for next game for sure. So I feel like they need to do better at that. But as the game progressed, I thought they got exponentially better with defense, and they just looked really good defensively towards the rest of the first half, towards like the last, I think, 7 minutes of the first half, and then all the second half. They looked great. And, you need to continue that, keep going with that. And, don't let guys just get into the lane easily. I thought that was a problem, a little bit throughout the night. Got to do better at that because, if you're going to let a team do that, I mean, shoot, they can hang with you all night. I don't care if they're good or not. But, Carolina did a good job of kind of shutting that down. So was really glad to see the bench rotation tonight. It does help when you are beating, blowing a team out. That's just, it is what it is. But, I am glad that we did get to see Washington come out there for a little while, Trimble out there, and Paxton Wojcik and Withers, Okonkwo just a little bit, getting some of these guys out there because you never know when you might have to call upon them. Let's say, unfortunately, an injury happens, or you need a foul trouble, and you need one of these guys to come out here and step up. It's good, even though maybe they are playing inferior competition. It's good for them to get out there and get game reps, and I thought that was big for them tonight. And anytime you can do that, really helps. We kind of talk about that a lot in football as well. When you're up 40 to something or whatnot, like Carolina was against Syracuse early in the football season, get some backups in there, let them play, let them get used to what it's like to have real in-game reps. And I felt like that was good tonight, especially going into a big game come Saturday. And you need all hands on deck just in case, because you never know what might happen there. So North Carolina did a great job. They have officially clinched the tie for a regular season tie for the ACC regular season title. They can go win the ACC regular season title straight out Saturday if they beat Duke. They will win it straight out, but they have at least clinched a tie there. So congratulations to North Carolina for that. And, you know, quite frankly, I could end this post game right here, but I want to talk for just a minute and, give my thanks to Armando Baycott and RJ Davis for sure. Man, these guys have been absolutely amazing to watch. It's been fun to watch these guys. You know, I was kind of talking about this at the very end of the live stream. You got to think this is the last of Roy Williams right here. This is the last of his group. These two guys are two of the last key pieces that he brought in. The other one being Caleb Love, and obviously he's already moved on to Arizona, but RJ and Armando are it. And after that, after they're gone, we know this is Armando's last. We don't know quite sure yet if it's RJ's. I personally have a feeling that it is. And it's unfortunate to say that, but it is true. I do believe that this is it for RJ. But um, these guys have, produced so much. And dude, I hope they're able to at least bring home the ACC championship this year. This is a banner team. This is a banner team. It really is, in my opinion. I understand that, there are other teams out there that are great. And yes, they are. And I'm not saying North Carolina is, the shoe-in to go win the national championship. I'm not saying that. But I do believe, especially with the ACC, this is a team that could and definitely should go out there and win the ACC this year, win that championship and bring home a banner. This team deserves to be honored somehow, some way. And I'll leave this to you all in the comments and let me know what you all think about it. I personally believe that, obviously I think we can all kind of tell, like, RJ's probably gonna win ACC Player of the Year. I think we can kind of talk about that. I don't think that's a shocking statement to say that. I don't think at this point. But with that being said, Armando's probably not winning National Player of the Year. I don't count him in for ACC Player of the Year. I do think, though, with everything that he's accomplished, especially like statistically, and the records that he's beaten, he should be honored in the rafters with the greats. I personally believe that. Now, I'll let you guys debate that in the comments. Let me know what you all think about that. I have a feeling RJ's going in because of the ACC, just personally. I can't count the kitchen, or how would you don't count your eggs before they hatch, something like that. And that the whole statement, something like that. But I personally think that's what's going to happen. And I think that he should be honored in the rafters for everything that he's accomplished. And I do believe that maybe it's probably going to happen. But we just got to wait and see. But, Armando Baycott's been amazing. This is a guy that came in, him and Cole Anthony, and it was talked about like, oh, he's going to be a one and done and out. And, here we are 5 years later. And, due to draft and everything else, but, he's just put on a show and he's really represented, North Carolina and the university well. He's, he went on statement saying, I'd die for this university. He really does believe and has done everything he can, especially in the transfer portal, to recruit guys to come to Carolina. He has done his best to try and make North Carolina basketball fun, competitive, relevant, everything. He's wanted to do that. And I am so glad that in his final year, he has a team like this that has a true chance to go and finish what the 21 team or the 22 team couldn't quite finish. And if he gets to do that, him and RJ both, if they get that opportunity to go down there and they get down into the Final Four, into the national championship game, oh my God, it would be like America's sweetheart, bro. It really would. Everybody, I don't know of many fan bases, depending on who they're going up against, would be rooting against this team outside of Duke and Steak, of course. But I don't know how many other fan bases would be rooting against this team to go down there and do that, especially because Armando's story isn't some sort of like hidden gem or anything. It's very much known who Armando is and what he's been doing and everything. He's a national superstar, quite frankly. The way he's talked about nationally, everybody's talking about this guy, and I'm curious to see. And I really do hope this team goes out there and wins something big. I do see that Alan has joined us. So I'm going to quickly turn it over to him. I have gotten everything I need out, and I'm going to turn it over to this guy and let him tell you all what he thinks about these Carolina Tar Heels. Mr. Allen. You're in? Hello? No, he's not in?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you are.
Hey.
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 Tell me what you think about everything, bro. Tell me what you think about the game. Give me your breakdown, everything. I'm turning it over to you. It's all you, buddy.
We're going to be a little floppy with the whole video quality and everything.
That's okay.
I didn't really watch a lot of it. I was at my son's baseball game. I did listen to it, and I did get to see Mondo hit his second three. That was pretty enjoyable. So that was fun. Cormac, I did hear Cormac. He played well, which I kind of figured he would, being playing against your home team or your former team, not your home team, but your former team. But no, I mean, North Carolina did what they were supposed to do. RJ was RJ. Harrison was Harrison. Seth Trimble had some good moments. Had a Jaylen Washington sighting.
My dude.
So I mean, everything looks better when the ball goes in the basket. So yeah.
Well, I mean, I went ahead and did mine, but I was giving my appreciation for Armando and RJ, considering I think this is their last game. We know Armando for sure, but I do believe this is RJ's last. What can you speak to all that, bro?
Well, I think I read where I saw a tweet where Armando said he had, or there was a tweet showing all the teammates for Armando, and I think he was up to like 45 teammates.
Dude, it's ridiculous.
Like 7 years in the league.
Yeah.
So, but no, I mean, yeah, you definitely, Mondo will always be remembered for the run they had, ending Coach K's career. Ending Coach K's career. Yeah, got the pinstripe baseball.
Well, good. I'm glad you got white because I'm getting blue.
Well, I had a blue one, so I needed the white one.
Okay.
Let's see. Yeah, so he'll always be remembered for that. But I mean, I don't know if it'll be RJ's last year. I mean, he has the option. I would almost believe more that it's Harrison's last year before RJ's. Cause
could definitely see that for sure.
Speaking of the baseball team, it's awful nice, right? Yeah. Got the little NC on the left sleeve. Yeah. They hung four runs in the top of the ninth. They put 4 runs in the top of the ninth to win that game 7-3.
Yeah.
But no, you definitely appreciate what Mondo does. I mean, from freshman year when he was 18 to super senior when he's 24, 25.
Yeah, I think we're the same age.
So yeah, I mean, you appreciate him. They're going to hang some type of banner, of course, because they at least won a share of the regular season ACC title. Of course, you want to win the whole thing outright. So now they have the motivation, a little extra motivation to go into Cameron and win that game, so they can be the outright regular season champs. RJ. I think when you look at RJ, you look at a player that came in, averaged like probably like 5 points, and now he's the leading scorer on the team. So I
Just
mean
dropped
that
42.
in 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 a world of transfer portal, you have an RJ Davis. You're not going to find many of those RJ Davis type players, I don't think, anymore. That's going to be, if I can't get playing time my first year or second year, then I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Even if I gotta take a step down in competition or whatever. So you appreciate RJ Davis for hanging around, quote unquote, trusting the process. And I mean, he's progressed, and I don't know. There's an outside shot that he might be able to get on a G League team just for his ability to shoot. Like some of the sets I saw in the second half, they were running like RJ was like just running off like constant ball screens in the second half. Kind of like reminded me of how like all the ball screens Steph
Yeah.
Curry runs off of.
I think me
Just
and you've
like
even talked about it. Like Hubert Davis, I think wants to get to that Golden State style system where the pick and roll, it's all over the place.
I can see it. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, no, I appreciate RJ, appreciate Mondo. They'll always be special. RJ Davis should be in the lot for the ACC Player of the Year, which would put his jersey in the Raptors,
Yeah.
which is odd considering Mondo's the one that's like really the one that's always talked about wanting his jersey in the Raptors, but it doesn't. I don't think it's going to. Unfortunately, unless they win like the national title, and he's like the NCAA tournament player of the tournament or whatever, um, like the tournament MVP. Outside of that, I don't know if he'll make second team All American. I really don't believe he'll be first team All American.
Yeah.
First and second team All American get you in the rafters. ACC Player of the Year get you in the rafters. Tournament MVP get you in the rafters. I think that's it.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, Baycott's probably not going to end up there. And RJ probably will. If he doesn't, then there's a problem. I don't think there's anybody that, and honestly, Hubert Davis could and should really be considered for Coach of the Year, not just ACC Coach of the Year, but National Coach of the Year.
Yeah. I could definitely see it.
That's my thoughts.
Well, I'm going to wrap us up and get us out of here, bro. I'm going to say one more time, thank you very much to Armando and RJ and Cormac and Jae'lyn Withers, that is, and Ferris and Lebo and Rob Landry. Man, we appreciate you guys and everything you did for Carolina. And boy, even though this is, the last of Carolina basketball in the Dean Dome, it is far from being over for North Carolina. They still have Saturday, the big game Saturday, and also an ACC tournament to go try and win, and the National March Madness tournament to go try and win. Boy, would it be amazing to see them bring home some gold this year. It would just be fitting. And also, and I'll bring this up to you really quickly, and I'll get your thoughts on it real quick, and we'll get out of here. I didn't think about this, but think about it. RJ and Armando are the last of Roy Williams.
Mm-hmm.
What's your thoughts, man, to see that coming to an end?
Just turning of the page.
Yeah, it is. And to see him so excited for them, and they kept cutting back from, like they would show RJ and Armando, and they keep cutting back up to him. And I think it's just like that solemn moment, like, that proud father, like, you know what, Roy Williams didn't really get to go out in a last hurrah, but maybe his players get to. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
We'll get to see. And all that ties together. So maybe in a sense he will get to go out in the last hurrah. But absolutely amazing. But Anyway, we're going to hop out of here. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here. Really quickly, one last thing before we go. Alan, I think you know where I'm getting ready to go with this. But there is talk around the world about one thing, and that's realignment. College realignment has been the talk of the town over the last year. We've saw so many different teams and schools jump into different conferences. It's been absolutely nuts. We've saw the end of the Pac-12 conference. It's now the Pac-2. And we've saw so much realignment, but nobody is talking yet, but they will soon, about college podcast realignment. Even though the North Carolina Tar Heels have not moved from the ACC, and seems like they're locked to NC State for some odd reason, doesn't matter. Even though they haven't moved, the Hill brothers have. And in April, you guys are going to finally get to see what we've been cooking up for almost 4 months now at this point in time. So, without further ado, we're going to end this with a little commercial. And I'm going to play that right here in just a second. But as always, Alan, thank you for joining me right here at the last little bit. I appreciate you. And as always, go Heels.
Go Heels.
You don't want none!